Some of them that I think are really good that people have just never selected for whatever reason. But anyway, it's pretty, that's a pretty full little map. So I'm excited. And we're so far out. We're still over a month away. So I think it's good.
So site's all the way down by the street, huh?
Well, we've got all the way up to Kids Kingdom.
Oh, that's right. That's about where Jerry Tittle is, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's not cooking this year. So
really?
They're not cooking. Yeah, she called and said they're just too old.
Because
they usually have
retired.
They usually have 146. That's their stew site, and so that site's available. But this is a lot more than what we've had up here in the past. Crickets are 148, and Debbie and Tom Young are going to cook at 150. And this is Bear Littleton. This is the Cross Cowboy Church.
I thought Watson's are over there.
Yeah, Watson's and Crickets. They cook at 148.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Their side. And then Tommy and Debbie Young are going to cook with their family for the first time at 150. And so...
yeah, I remember one year we started interviews with Prickett and David and Jerry Tittle and just that whole...
Made your way around over here, yeah.
And that's where it started, because we were coming up from the street.
Well, this is where the trolley drops off, so it's really a pretty good way for people to start their journey around, because there's a service tent right there, and then they can just make their way all the way and see them all. So
yeah. Did Enola renew?
Enola renewed. She's at 2 and 4.
I talked to her, and she was going to. She just hadn't gotten around to it.
Yeah, she did.
She said, I know, I need to get over there.
Well, we didn't end up with any sites. All of these sites were renewed from last year. All of these. We had one here that was
primo spots, isn't it?
This was Senator Duell's site, so obviously he didn't take that, so we've already filled it in. And then these two were empty last year, and they're full this year. So this whole section is completely full. So the main spot is down around the stew pot. There's no trees, but trees don't really matter now because it's cool, and so it's not such a big deal that they don't have trees. And then these are actually pretty. These two spots are pretty good. This one's good. Those two are really good. So there's still some really good spots left. It's just a matter of getting the other 9 that haven't picked out their sites yet to get them in, and then it'll be pretty full. It was crazy last week, as I knew it would be. We had close to 60 stew cooks that came in between Monday and Friday of last week. But it was great, and we've had, I think, everyone renewed except for 6 stew cooks. We have 12 new cooks this year. So I'm not exactly sure of the final number, but I think at the moment we're sitting at about 144, 145 compared to 138 or 39 last year. So I don't know that math works out, but that's approximately where we are. So the map's getting full, the stew grounds are getting full, and people are getting, the cooler weather gets everybody excited about stew.
Now, we might say there are something like 20 or so, maybe less, of what you would call prime real estate out there for stew cooks if they want to act now or quickly, right?
Well, we still have 9 cooks that haven't picked their site yet, and so at that moment, I think we had 20 or 21 sites left, and we have 9 cooks that have turned in their forms but haven't picked their sites yet. So that limits it down to about, once again, the math, 10, 12 stew sites that are actually marked out there. So if we have more than that, then I'll have to be creating some new stew sites and finding some more space. But that's a great problem to have. I really think it's, contributed to the fact that Fall Festival is going to be the same weekend. It just makes people even more excited to know that we're going to have a huge crowd and lots of people around. Probably won't be very much stew left over, which is always a good thing.
Historically, we're within, I'd say, the last month now before the... do you get a lot of stew cooks coming in, or a lot of activity over the last month, or is it pretty stable from now on out?
We'll still probably get several more cooks that will come in. It's fun to hear why people are deciding now for the first time to ever cook stew. Families that have never done it before want to do it. We had a family that came in yesterday that moved in the weekend before stew a year ago, and they just loved it and said, we're cooking stew next year. So we'll still have some more that will come in between now and really the 14th is kind of the deadline. That's when we have our stew cook meeting. So we like for everybody to be in so we can get all the paperwork done, do all the maps and all that stuff that goes along with it. we try to do that by the 14th. So I imagine we'll probably still have maybe 2, 3, 4 that will come in between now and then. So we're going to have a full house.